Well, hello everybody, and Happy New Year.
Hi everyone.
Wait, I didn't have the noisemaker, so I guess it should have been more like because it had to unroll and then roll back. Anyway, I'm a stickler for the. I'm missing my calling as being a professional mime. You know, the pulling the.
Oh,
rope.
I know what you're
Trapped
saying.
in a box. Yeah, I feel like the Marcel Marceau in me is. Well, I'm going to start buying striped black and white shirts now. And people either think I'm a criminal or a mime, or both. Maybe I'll be a mime who steals things. Pretend though. Yoink.
Oh my goodness.
This got weird right away.
Yeah.
Welcome to today's live chat. I see our friend Bob is on. Nice to see you, Bob. Gosh, we nearly got together with Bob. I think Bill was going to do a get-together at his house, but you were at your mom's for your brother's birthday, so we couldn't make it. But hopefully we can reschedule and get together. It'd be nice to see everybody, all of our local friends that we haven't seen in a while, including Dave, who just joined us too. Hello, Barbara Ann, and everybody out there there's quite a few of you logging in right now. And speaking of Bill, there's Bill right there. Gosh, I hope you guys have all had a wonderful New Year so far. Melissa and I were really busy the last week and a half or so. Our house has been, I wouldn't say party central, but it's been a hub of activity for our family.
Well, we have there was Christmas, and then Jason's birthday's right after Christmas, and then New Year's.
November and December, very busy.
And my brother's birthday. Next is Steven's birthday.
Yeah, Steven's birthday's coming up pretty quick.
Yeah, he's on the 11th.
So it's been really busy, which is nice because, we intentionally built a property where there'd be room for our family to come and to visit and have room to stretch out. And so when we have, 15, 16 people around the house doing stuff, everybody kind of has little areas they can go to, games they can play. I was thinking, you know what we're missing from the house?
What?
When my sister Heather is in town, sometimes I'll take her to an arcade, because you never get too old for that. And the one thing that we like to play together is it's Connect 4, but with basketballs. They have this thing where it's like these rows, like Connect 4, right?
Yeah, like real basketballs?
Yeah, I mean, they're like 3/4 the size of a normal basketball, but it's still a real basketball.
So this is this big Connect 4 game that you want in the house?
Yeah, it's, you knew where I was going. It's like, I don't know, maybe
goodness.
10 feet across and maybe 10, 11 feet tall.
You know what, I wasn't expecting him to say that we were missing from our house.
Maybe it's not 10 feet across. It's probably like 8 feet. Anyway, it's big, but you have to, you get a turn, and when your basketball goes in, you get a color and it shows up on this digital screen, and you have to try and connect 4 in a row, and you have to keep blocking the other person. Anyway, it's super fun. I feel like we're missing that in our lives.
Well, we had hold on.
I guess I could just buy I could build one out of wood in the yard. I could build one of those things out of wood in the yard, and I could paint some basketballs blue or red.
This
right?
is happening. Well, they have it at the place that we went.
Palladium or Rec Room or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not, it's more digital screen and regular color. I feel like I could build one of these myself though. I feel like all I would need is some 2x4s, a little bit of netting, and a whole pile of basketballs.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, right? And you could even have it so the board on the bottom, you pull a little thing and it drops down, and then they all fall down and it's time to start over again. But anyway, I started off this conversation by saying that we were happy to have all of our friends and family over. And
instantly went to getting a Connect 4 basketball game.
Yeah. So gosh, yeah, Christmas was good. We had family over, and Melissa was really quick. Right after New Year's, basically, that tree and everything came down,
I wanted to start the new year without the tree up.
Yeah,
so.
It's funny. I went into the post office today, and they were still playing Christmas music, and it's almost like, what's up with that?
Well, sometimes we leave it up a lot longer.
I feel like Costco is always way ahead of stuff. Like they've got their Christmas ornaments out in spring or summer, it seems. And but if somebody plays, which is okay, you're like, oh, I guess we're getting close to that time of year. But if somebody's playing Christmas music into the new year, it's like, wait a minute, this isn't right.
Yeah.
I did notice that Costco had the swimsuits out already, which makes me feel like
hopeful.
And we almost missed winter so far this year. It's been crazy warm here.
Tell them about our little vortex.
Our vortex. Yes, the aliens come twice a day. This morning we woke up and it hasn't snowed all year really. We've had no snow. It's been
not since last January.
Brown grass, frosty kind of grass, but really
bits of snow, like clumps here or there.
But then it melts off.
Yeah.
So it's been above freezing, which is really unusual for us. Normally, when I was a kid, by the time Halloween came around, you could have, you know, big drifts of snow that you were trick-or-treating in parkas and...
You make your Halloween costume has to be big enough to fit on top of your snowsuit. That's...
Yeah, but not this year.
No.
Now, the last few years, October has been like an extension of summer, I'd say, where it's been pretty nice.
It's been nice, but not, I wouldn't say summer.
But November and December, normally we have a lot of snow, and we've just had no snow.
And like minus 20 Celsius.
Yeah, and it's been +6, +8 pretty regularly. Now, I know that's because it's the El Nino year this year, so the El Nino is forcing warmer air currents up here, and we're not seeing the Arctic blasts that we normally get. I think that's going to be coming in the next week or two.
Yeah, it's starting. Today was cooler, but...
But this morning we woke up, and I looked out the window, and it had snowed. And I thought, okay, it snowed, and I had to run into town,
And the frost is sticking to everything. Like the frost is on the trees.
It was really, really pretty.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it was really pretty. There was snow. Every tree looked like it had been painted white, and the grass was covered in snow.
Not tons of snow, like this much.
Yeah, but enough that we had to shovel.
Yeah,
it was like maybe an inch and a half of snow.
It's coming though.
And so I said, okay, well, I got to run in. I think I went to the post office.
Yeah.
And I got maybe like a mile from our house, and there was just a line where the snow stopped. And so I went the other direction later in the day again, but a mile in the other direction, the snow stopped. It only snowed in like a circle right around our house.
We have like winter at our house, and then not even a minute away, it's just like yesterday. Like it's so
just brown grass.
Incredibly bizarre. Like the frost is still stuck to everything here.
Yeah, they can't.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a reflection for them. So yeah, it only snowed at our house, which is super weird.
It's weird. It was. I had to drive in, and it was weird.
It snowed enough that I had to get the tractor out with the blade down and push it all off and do the round. So it snowed a fair bit, and it's so weird that it only snowed in our little area here and didn't snow anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at the road conditions, and it said all green, and I thought, which means clear, and I thought there's no way, that can't be green. Sure enough, yeah, it's because it only snowed at our house.
Somebody said like a snow globe. Maybe we are in a snow globe. Somebody shook us up.
Yeah.
But the kids were really hoping for snow. They were hoping for it to get a little more Christmassy out there. Abigail saw it this morning, and she was not happy about it. I think she wanted it she was upset because she was hoping for snow for Christmas, and it snowed after. What is this nonsense? And then she disappeared.
Well, we have 2 less months of winter, which is nice.
Yeah. So yeah, there was a random snow only in our exact area. Like if I took a protractor and drew a circle around our house, that's pretty much what happened.
It was so weird.
Yeah. Dave says he's hoping for spring already.
Me too, Dave.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, once Christmas is over, then it's just like counting down until it gets warm enough to do fun stuff again.
It wouldn't be so bad if the roads didn't get slippery. I wouldn't mind winter if it wasn't terrifying.
Yeah, and we're getting closer.
Yeah.
So, that was Christmas and New Year's was good. I don't know if it's just the age I'm at now, but it's been a long time since I've enjoyed staying up late. And when New Year's comes around, I'm pretty much good to pack it. Like 10 o'clock at night, I'm like, is this worth it? Is it really worth staying up? What am I doing up? So I did stay up until midnight or 12:30, and that was fine. We had the kids over and stuff. But
our niece and nephew
and the friends were over.
Friends.
But I don't know about you guys. I just
we're like those people now. 12 o'clock hits, and we're like, Happy New Year! Get out, going to bed.
Claire says, "Do you put winter tires on in Alberta?" Yeah, we do typically. It's not mandatory. It's the law in, I think, Montreal
Is it? Oh my goodness.
or in Quebec.
There's no chance I would drive without winter
I
tires.
think it's the law in all of Quebec. Somebody maybe watching is from that area, but here you have your choice. You can get winter tires, or you can choose to drive and risk it on
Yeah.
regular tires. Now, if you have generally all-season tires, a good tread, you're probably going to be all right if you're a decent driver. Melissa
You
doesn't
need
believe
winter,
so.
winter tires.
Winter is definitely good, but the problem is you got to store. Usually, you have to get an extra set of rims. Oh yeah, this Villain Art says yes. Here in Quebec, it's mandatory starting December 1st.
Ah,
So interesting, but you probably get a lot more humidity in Quebec, I'd imagine, than we do here. But yeah, it is not mandatory here to put on winter tires, but recommended. Melissa has them, Jason has them, Steven has them. I do not. Hopefully this won't come back to bite me.
I think you should get them. It's crazy.
I don't want to have to buy another set of rims, or if you take tires on and off the same rims over and over again, they get like
Just
wrecked.
get another set of rims.
That's freaking expensive. I don't want to have to worry about that.
You know when you are worried about the cost of something and then later back you look and you're like, in retrospect, that wasn't a lot to pay for my safety.
Yeah, I guess so. But anyway, so far so good here, and we haven't really had much snow in the meantime
that's
anyway.
true.
So, but yeah, where was I even going with this? We were talking about winter tires. Oh, because somebody asked a question about what I'm like, how did I start talking about winter tires? It's because one of you asked a question.
Gail said, who's cold and who's not? Alex with a jacket on and Melissa in a sleeveless. I'm
Oh,
almost always
this
in
isn't a jacket, it's a sweater. It's just
I'm
a zip-up
almost always
sweater.
in a sleeveless.
Yeah. Is anybody on from like England right now? From like the Northumberland, Newcastle kind of area? Do I have anybody watching from that area right now? I'm curious to know what the best time of year to visit that part of England would be. Because I am really thinking about going just for a week or so. Going visiting all the places that my family, our last name, my ancestral family came from. But I don't want to go when it's like, oh, it's monsoon season. Oh, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, Marilyn says North Yorkshire. Okay, Marilyn, what's the nicest time of year to come visit? Like, what's a good month? What's the best time? Late summer to northern UK. Let's see. I'm trying to see if somebody's Hampshire, but we are south. Probably June and July.
Northumberland, not England.
Linda says June or July is probably best. It's for Sarah says August, September. So your seasons are probably similar to ours, I guess. That we're come anytime but May or June. Why? What do they do to tourists in May or June? I'm guessing it's probably really rainy in early spring. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But
Summer months, but expect rain anyways. Yeah, of course.
I don't think I have that. I had a John Speed map, which is a really early hand-drawn map of England from like the 1400s. And I got rid of it and I thought, well, this is kind of interesting. But I didn't think it really, at the time I had it, I didn't think that I had family that was from that area because it was the Worcestershire area or Worcester area. And did I say that right? English people, is it Worcestershire? Like Worcestershire sauce? Anyway. I had this map and on the back of it, it had all the names of the people who lived in that area. And I didn't even think to look for my own name on the back of that. And I wish I had that map now because it would have been a nice family piece to have because they were from that area in the 1400s. And it's funny, when you go back far enough, if you go back far enough in your family tree and you have family from the England sort of area, everything starts getting Latin. It's all in Latin. Stephanus, Guianus, everything is in us. It's all in Latin. And you don't realize that, yeah, they spoke and wrote Latin up until, probably the 14 or 1500s, where it was a common official language. So my old ancestors' names are in Latin. We've been trying to look back into Melissa's past.
Yep.
Yeah. And so Melissa's family has, and I don't know if you guys have done the ancestry thing or trust me, it's a hoot. You might find out some things you weren't expecting. You might find some siblings you weren't expecting. But we went back through Melissa's side a little bit and went up that way. Oh, Claire says, would you ever do a meetup if I came? Yeah, I would love to do. So here's the thing. I'll get back to the chat about Melissa in a second. I'm going to divert back to the Northumberland thing. I would like to go to Northumberland. I would like to do a meetup, and I would like to see while I'm there some of the towns and some of the sites that my family's been to. They have an archive that's in that area that has a lot of birth records and stuff. But also, I believe that there's some Roman forts and Roman ruins. I've never seen a Roman mosaic outside of the Metropolitan Museum. Like, I've never seen one in the wild. I'd like to go and see. So yes, I would love to do a meetup in that area at some point. But I've been diving really deep into my family tree because I think that really, it interests me to know. And honestly, it's a matter of respect. It's a respect thing. Oh, Patrick's on. Hey, Patrick. To me, it's respectful of all of the generations of family that came before us to see how hard they worked and how hard they struggled and what they had to go through to get for me to be here, you know, and to learn about them and what they did for work and, you know, where they came from. So I've been really big into searching family trees the last little while, and I've got mine back a fair bit. But Melissa's has been a little more challenging because Melissa's dad was adopted, and we know who the biological mom was, and we've been able to trace that back. And I guess that's where the height comes from.
Yeah. It's, I guess it was because my grandma, my biological grandma, her dad was, what is it, 6'4"?
6'4", yeah. Estonian.
Yep. And his brother was only 5'7".
No, that was a cousin.
Was it a cousin?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they had little Gus and big Gus.
Yeah,
and her
big Gus.
Her grandpa, her biological great grandpa was a guy they called Big Gus. And Jason's almost 6'4", and her brothers are 6'4". Her dad was 6'4" or so, 6'3". So they're all really tall on her side of the family, and I guess it comes from these gargantuan Estonian people that emigrated here to Alberta in the 20s.
I'm 5'7", and I'm getting to be the shortest one in my house. So
yeah, we gotta. You know, that reminds me. We have to line you and Abigail up and see. Abigail is catching up to her. Abigail was 5'6" and a little bit last time we checked. So very soon, my little girl might be taller than Melissa. It's a race right now.
I can't believe it. I've always been like the tallest, so it's weird.
Yeah, out of the children.
Well, I mean, first James and Ben, my brothers, shot past me, and then my sister shot past me.
Jim says you're still taller than Chewy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim. For now.
Yeah. So it is fun going through your family tree and learning about that. Linda says she has German, Swiss, Scottish, English, and some Native American. The longer that your information is up there, the more they kind of deep dive and find out where your roots are. Mm-hmm. And for me, I had somebody in my roots that was in the 1700s. I had an ancestor who was 100% Middle Eastern. So I don't know. We have on my side a little bit of North African or Egyptian. Because of course Egypt's in Africa, so I have a little bit of Egyptian and a little bit of Middle Eastern in the mix there too. You'd have to go back a number of generations, but you know, 1700s isn't that long ago to maybe try and figure out who it was, and it's on my mom's side. But if you've ever tried to look into Russian or Eastern European family trees, I find it pretty challenging. I don't know where all the records are, and a lot of times they North Americanize or Anglicize their names to make it more, I guess, a little easier to roll off the tongue to pronounce. So there's so many different spellings of my mom's side of the family. It's really hard to trace her side. Oh, Mima Mary sent a super chat. Thank you very much, Mima Mary. So this year, gosh, curious to know what you guys at home have planned for this year, and you can put it in the comments to see what you've got going on. And recommendations for what to do in England. You should go to the Beamish Museum when you're there. It's an open air museum. It's actually how I discovered your channel. I was looking at these museums up. You might want to visit in Alberta, and I came up. Oh, cool. That's good to know that came up, because I do love going to museums and love learning about history, and yeah, I'd like to go.
Craig said I'm 6'4", and it's a comedy act when I crawl out of my MG midget.
Oh gosh, you have an MG midget. You know, surprisingly though, some of those cars have more room than you'd think. Like, because you can stretch your legs way out. Like, you don't sit normal with your legs bent in an MG midget. Guessing, Craig, you sit with your legs straight out like that. These are your legs, by the way. This is Craig. Hello. Craig. These are Craig's legs. And so when you sit in an old sports car, you sit with your legs actually straight out. It's kind of a comfortable sitting position if you can fold yourself into it. And I was, not to get too much into cars and stuff, but now that Craig brought it up, not me, I find old European sports cars are actually more roomy than some 50s North American sedans or full-size vehicles. We had a 1959 Ford Thunderbird, and when you sat in that thing, the steering wheel was like this and my knees were up on either side, and that was with the seat all the way to the back. But I've got an old Porsche from the 60s, late 60s, tons of room. You sit in that thing, you could be wearing a top hat, you're all stretched out. It's like they designed the car around your seating position. That's what they did with the early Minis too. They had 4 people sit on chairs and they designed the car around that. And it actually works. A lot of those old European cars, albeit smaller, are quite roomy on the inside of them. Might be death traps for all I know. But you don't have 10 feet of American steel in front of you, but you're comfortable while you're in there. Jim says, us short people don't hit our head near as often. Yes, Jim, of course, is the talented artist and metal worker blacksmith who built the gates for our last store. So it's always nice to see Jim on. Jim, I swear I've been trying to think about things that I can... what I need more often than not is somebody who knows how to weld up rust holes in a car than I do for somebody to artistly build something out of metal. There's a skill set there, and sometimes these wonderful craftspeople and you just want to find something for them to do. That was pretty outstanding that we got those gates up on that building.
Jim made us the steak turner, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he sent us a steak flipper.
I'm pointing because it's in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Now you know.
Now you know which way the kitchen is from here. Let's see. I own one. Was always surprised by the space inside for a small car. Oh, you owned Toyota Echo was designed like that. Whereas, yeah, sometimes you get small cars with more room inside of them. This year, we have plans to do a little bit of travel this year. I am hoping in summertime, we're planning on going down for the 4th of July to Montana to meet my brother, Melissa, and the kids. Steve, his adopted dad is in Montana. Mm-hmm. And we've been invited out there for his dad's, I think, 90th birthday party, and for the 4th of July weekend. And so we're going to drive down to Montana, and Steve's going to drive from Colorado, and we're going to meet his adopted dad, which I'm really excited. He seems like a very nice man. And my wife and kids are going to meet my brother for the very first time. So very excited for that, and I'm hoping that Heather's going to be able to make the trip as well. I think that's the plan. But I'm not planning on Washington this time. We did that a couple years back. This time it's pretty much straight down into Montana, near the Yellowstone kind of area, and meeting up with family down there. But I'm very excited. Always enjoy a good trip down there, and that reminds me, I need to get a rooftop carrier for Melissa's car, because you never know what you're gonna find on the way. I mean, last time we went through the US, we had a minivan, and I filled it so the axles were nearly dragging on the ground.
It was the most crazy.
Oh, it was a lot of stuff.
There was that drum thing in the middle, and then you filled that,
Oh yeah, it was, yeah.
It was...
No extra siblings yet. No other siblings pop up? I don't know. If I do have them, there might be, who knows?
I mean, those test kits went on sale over Christmas. That's generally when it happens.
Yeah, nothing yet. Jane says, a brother, I missed something. Yeah, well, if you missed that, then you missed a bit. There's actually an episode where I talk to my brother and we chat with him. And he's a really nice guy. His name is Steve, which is so funny because I just met Steve. Was it last year or the year before? It was recently anyway. I have an older brother named Steve. And somebody wrote me and they said, oh, did you name your son after him? And I said, my son is 18 years old. I just met my brother last year. No, I did not name it's just pure happenstance. I did not know that this brother existed at all up until we got the DNA results. And he had been put up for adoption by his mom, who he's reconnected with. And unfortunately never got a chance to meet my dad. But I know my dad would have been very open to meeting his other children had he got a chance. And so I feel like I'm doing my dad's work by sharing stories and learning about my family history and being here to pass that along to them so they can know a little bit about where they come from, what their roots are. And I'm excited for my family to meet Steve as well. So yes, I did find a brother named Steve and a sister named Heather within the last 5 or 6 years, 2 siblings that I never knew I had. So pretty wild stuff. And the more you chat about it with people, the more that people have done these sort of tests, the more you realize that there's all kinds of families that have had that kind of stuff going on, you know, where there's secret surprise siblings, or, you know, people that were adopted or put up for adoption, and all kinds of stuff happening. So
My dad, his are all surprise siblings because he didn't know any of them because he was adopted.
yeah. So unfortunately, your dad didn't get to meet his
No.
biological siblings either. But yeah, my brother Steve looks a lot like my dad. It's actually kind of eerie when I sit with him because his mannerisms are similar. I know I said this probably before on a live feed, but if I didn't, but my dad was really snobby about soft ice cream. He only liked it if it was high cream content and really good quality, and there was only specific places he liked to go to for soft ice cream.
Maybe not snobby, more particular.
Particular? Well, they know what I mean. It was my dad. I'm not, anyway. So dad was, it's not rude to say he was an ice cream snob. He was just very fussy. I'll put it that way then. He was fussy about his soft serve ice cream. And so I was in Colorado not that long ago, and I said to my brother and sister were there, and I said, well, we could go get some soft serve ice cream. I don't know, even just stop at a Dairy Queen or something. And Steve looked very serious and he said, that's not real ice cream. And I was like, holy cow, I've had my dad do the exact same thing. The eyebrows up, the serious face, and tell me that's not real ice cream, that's ice milk. I've heard that from my dad before, and to hear my brother, who's never met my dad, have the same kind of expression on his face and the same mannerisms and have the same thoughts towards ice cream. It was just so weird. There's some stuff that he does that's just very much like my dad. He is definitely a chip off the old block without ever knowing the block. Though you understand how much genetics plays a role, and I don't know about interest. He does collect stuff as well. He's into old cars and collecting things, so who's to say? But he's very much like my dad. And I think we're gonna try and take my mom down too, so she can meet him, which will be good. Because I mean, really, that's like his stepmom that he's never met. Like it's like he's got another mom that he's never met. So, you know, it's gonna be pretty wild. But I'm excited for it too. So.
Are you saying where else we're traveling?
Oh, it said, Annika says 6 years ago they found a cousin they didn't know existed via DNA testing. Now she's the sister she always wanted. Well, it's nice, I think, when you can kind of take people into your lives. You know, at some point the past is the past and it's happened, and you're left with these people who are the result of some experience. And so there's no point, you know, there's no point getting upset about it. You may as well just invite them into your lives. So yeah, same dad, different mums, is how that worked. So Montana is in the future. So I'm hoping to do a few travel videos this year and see some new sites, maybe some familiar sites, and do some exploring. So we'll have that. I've got some projects on the go, which I've got a video coming out for one project in a few days here, which we'll start on that. Oh, I didn't even tell you, I'm going to look at somebody wants me to clear out their house. And I've got to go, it's out of town, of course.
Oh.
It's always in winter and it's always out of town. It's always the farthest away it can be in the coldest anyway.
Can't you wait until it's not?
No, it's, they recently, this is the situation, is that they were recently left the house, but their finances aren't great. And so they really need to sell the house quickly so that they can get the money from selling the house.
It's too bad they didn't call like last month.
Last month would have been great. I think
it's been so perfect.
I think this is all just really recent for them. But it sounds like it was an uncle of theirs who was a collector and apparently had all kinds of stuff. So they want me to go have a look and see if I can take on this project. And basically they want the house done in a couple weeks. So I'm going to go suss it out and see what there is to do. So might have that happening soon too, but cross your fingers on that. I mean, there's always the potential for one of these things to happen, and sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. But we'll go and see. I think you guys liked the videos I do when I'm scrounging around in barns. And the last one I did where I almost hit the mooses. That video did surprisingly well. It's like a 260,000 views or something like that. I only posted it a couple weeks ago. So I know that people like these sort of hunting around and exploring videos and stuff like that. And for me, it's fun too. Those are my favorite videos. And gosh, that last video, I know a lot of people, if you didn't see it, I was invited out to a barn where I was told everything was going to be garbage and thrown out, and I could come and take basically whatever I want. And that turned into, well, you're going to pay for the things you're going to take. And then it turned into, oh, you darn, you found some good stuff. We're going to keep most of it. But I did get a really cool porcelain enamel Hudson dealership sign. I was able to keep that. And I did reach out and left a message for the new owners of the property, because they seem to think that the new owners would want all that stuff. As it turns out, the new owners did get the property, and they said, we don't want all this junk. So all the stuff they thought they were saving for these people that were going to be buying the property, they didn't want it, and they were just going to call. They said they were calling a Hutterite, the Hutterite community in the area, to come and clean everything out to get all the scrap. And so they're just going to give it all away for free. And there was all kinds of great old store fixtures and Snap-on toolboxes and store displays and battery racks and stuff. So I'm hoping I can have a chance to go back and at least buy some of the stuff rather than see it get scrapped and that history lost forever. But as of yet, I've not heard anything back yet. So Spencer says, was going solar worth it for you guys? Yet to be determined. Mm-hmm. The solar does play a role on lowering the bills for sure. But what happens is you're supposed to way overproduce in summer so that when winter comes and you don't make a whole lot of energy through your solar panels, that you have a credit with the electric company and that pays your bills. Well, we didn't produce nearly enough over summer, so we don't have enough panels. Because I didn't have at that time, when we put the system up, I didn't have the electric car. I didn't have the other building, which is heated electrically. And so we've actually doubled our usage from what we were built for. So if we would have kept living our life as the way it was, we would probably be fine. But right now we're not producing nearly enough electricity to cover.
I thought they factored in the car.
They didn't factor in enough. Maybe they didn't factor in how much I was going to be driving. But either way,
hopefully they figure things out, because we had somebody sit down and figure out the numbers and everything with us, and the numbers are off.
Yeah, but they're coming out here tomorrow afternoon, and we're going to meet up and try and figure out what we need to do to help up our production. And it is making a big dent. I mean, our bill would be a whole lot worse if we didn't have it, but the goal is to help try and get it down to near zero for the electric bill, and that hasn't happened yet. So I think we had 1 or 2 months during summer where there was no bill at all, but lately that's not been the case, and we're using a lot of power here, more than what, like, we got the thing in the mail. Melissa gets the bill for that, and it shows like an average home is, here's an average home's efficiency, here's a bad house, this is like a graph, and here's your house. Like how much the power usage is.
Like the most ridiculous thing, because it doesn't account for, it's only saying that our house is taking that. It's not including the car being charged or the heater and the.
Yeah, so we are.
But even so, that makes me, because we used to be below that, like in our other house, I was like so proud of being below it. So every time I'm walking around, unplugging things that don't need to be plugged in, lights are constantly off.
Yeah, it's been good, but it could be better, and so we're gonna chat with them again and see what we can do. Rob says, "How does the Tesla do in minus 40 degree?" Well, I park it indoors, and so for me, I can drive all around, and it doesn't affect it at all. If I was parked outdoors overnight, I'm sure it would affect the battery. It does have a little thing that kicks on that warms the battery every so often to try and maintain a battery maintainer.
I think on average, though, it reduces it by like a third in minus 40. For other people that we know,
for people that maybe park outside at night. For me, it doesn't. And I have parked outdoors and gone into the mall, or when I had our building, you park out there and just leave it outside all day, and it was fine. Actually, it doesn't really use any power at all when it's idle. So it doesn't draw that badly, but it's got a great heater. Frankly, for what you want a car to do, it's a really good car. Like it's got nice traction control, excellent heater. It's got all power options you would want. Excellent performance. Like for driving it, you're like, wow, they really did a decent car here.
So I was kind of against it in the beginning, and I love it, which is, it's saying a lot for a car to change my mind like that. That car goes, you guys. It's crazy.
And it's comfy, and it's got nice seat warmers.
But you can go quite a long ways, and then I come back to the house to plug it in, and I've barely used any battery at all, and I've been all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a very decent vehicle. So if we can get the a few extra solar panels added on to help offset the cost there, then it'll be even better yet.
Yeah.
Claire says, would you consider getting wind turbines too? I don't think we're allowed to get wind turbines here. I don't. We think we have the space. You're talking about like like one of those big windmill things. Maybe there's something smaller you can get, but no, I don't think there's room for something like that on our property. You're allowed to do solar panels, but I think you're a little bit limited. I am still a fan of gas-powered vehicles, and at the end of the day, when we need to do a big trip, like when we go down to Montana, we won't be taking the electric vehicle, we'll be taking a gas vehicle. Just because you don't want to do it, it's, 10, 11 hour drive from where we are, and you don't want to be adding an extra 30, 40 minutes every time you want to stop and charge and fill up. I drive it routinely though, 300-400 kilometers, so it is a couple 200-300 miles. And it actually does quite well, and it doesn't take that long to charge up. And yeah, I can fit a whole pile of stuff in there. I don't know if Mary Beth has a Tesla as well, but she says, were you surprised at how much you could put in that car? Yeah, heck yeah, you can put a lot of stuff in that car. It's got great storage capacity.
She's saying you were surprised at how much you could put in the car.
No, she says also,
you
were
also
you?
Were.
Oh, you also were surprised. Yes, I am surprised at how much I could put in that car. But no, it's decent. I mean, I feel like if you're truly a car, like a gearhead like I am, you've got to try out the new technology, and that's what we're doing with that. Where somebody said, oh, you must not be a real car guy if you got a solar on your house and an electric car. But I think it's the opposite. I think that if you are truly a car guy, you want to try the new stuff and see what it's all about. That's a
weird thing for somebody to say.
Well, some people...
You're not a car guy if you've got runners.
Jay Leno's daily driver is one of those like Tesla, the fancier one than what I have. Can't even remember what it's called now, but he's got a Model S. Oh, yeah. And he's got like the ludicrous mode on it and stuff like that, or with the plaid package. That's what Jay Leno drives as his regular car. And so I don't think there's too many car guys that are more of a car guy than him. And for what it does what you want it to do. But I'm certainly not getting rid of my classic cars just yet. They're there, and we're having fun with those. And heck, I've got stuff on the go all the time with that. And trust me, it's keeping me awfully busy. Are you adding solar panels to the pool house? I'm going to talk to them about that. The thing is, the pool house is really just an extension of our house. Like it runs off the same power as the house and everything. So it's kind of like we ran this is a very simple way of putting it, but imagine a big RV and we've run a big extension cord underground to that RV. That's kind of what the pool house is. It doesn't have its own power run off a pole to it. So we have underground lines. We've got, it does have its own breaker panel and stuff, its own sub panel. But there is a way to do like a little micro system over there, and I will seek that info out. But we have a lot of space on our existing roof that we could probably add stuff to where it's not going to throw things off too much. So we'll check and see that.
And you can't really notice them as much. Like once you realize that they're up there, you can obviously see them. They're solar panels. But I thought it was going to be a lot more noticeable, like take over the look of the house. And it doesn't. People completely will talk to them and they're like, well, weren't you getting solar panels? And they were over here.
Yeah,
you just don't notice.
That technology is changing a lot too. They have solar panels where the roof, the shingles are the solar panel, but we don't have those available in our area yet. So, and Dave says, did the panels work if there's snow on them? Yeah, they do. It's reduced, but not as much as you'd think. You still do get... It's the main reason why you don't have as much sun in winter is because there's less daylight. Yeah. It's not to do with the snow. They still do
clouds, like the.
Yeah, if there's clouds or if the day is shorter, but the sun actually does get through the snow and onto the panel themselves. Any chance on getting chickens in the property?
I would love to have chickens, but the truth is just one more chore right now doesn't seem appealing. I can't imagine having to try to overwinter the chickens right now. It would be like basically having chickens is for an extra pet. Can you imagine if we were trying to, it's hard enough that we have to try to find somebody to watch Chewy and the rabbit.
Yeah, but we don't collect the rabbit's eggs.
No.
We don't cook up a breakfast with rabbit pebbles.
I could put the rabbit pebbles in my garden. You guys, I don't know if you've ever had a rabbit, but I've never had an animal that pooped that much.
Yeah, it
So
is just
ridiculous.
a machine. But yeah,
It's supposed to be good for the garden. So.
we would like to have a couple chickens so that we could get fresh eggs and stuff like that. But to Melissa's point, like if you want to go on holiday and we want to do a little bit of travel, it is hard finding people to watch your pets.
And it's way cheaper just to buy a package of eggs off my neighbors that have chickens.
That's true.
Really a lot cheaper. But I like it would be more for having them as a pet than us doing it for eggs and stuff like that.
And hello, Anna Banana in Nashville. I was actually just talking about Nashville the other way, how I really am overdue for an order of Hattie B's chicken and the banana pudding and the whole deal. So yeah, gosh, I would like to get back there primarily for the food. I mean, it was fun to see. I went to Mike Wolf's store. We went to the American Picker store and did a lot of fun stuff around there. A lot of great history and cool historic buildings. Oh, the chicken. Oh, that chicken.
Oh my gosh.
Go to
I've never had
Nashville.
that.
I mean, sure, go there for the honky tonkin, but stay for the chicken. Really do. So yeah, there's so many places that I haven't been and so many things I want to see in this world that I just want to get out there and explore. You know, I think you start to realize, and I had a bad bout the last 3-4 months, my back has been very temperamental. Right after I moved that piano out of that storage unit, my back didn't recover for several months. It's okay today. Thank goodness my back is fine today. But it kind of makes you realize that, gosh, you know, I should probably, if there's stuff I want to do, I should probably do it while I'm able to go do stuff. And while I'm healthy enough, because, you know, you could take a swing for the worse or something could happen and you might leave things unseen. It reminds me of,
No matter what, you end up leaving things unseen because you can't see it all.
no, but you should try.
Yeah.
You should try and do the things that you're interested in doing rather than
agree.
wait. I remember my grandpa wanted to go to Europe really badly. He never went to Europe. He wanted to go to Germany. He wanted to go and see parts of the world. And my grandma passed away and he still wanted to go, but he didn't want to go by himself. And I said, you should go on like a seniors tour. You should go. And he never did. Nor did he get the 38 Ford that he always wanted to get. And, you know, there's just little things that he probably had the money in the bank to do it, but he didn't want to do it alone. And I was working at the time and I couldn't go with him. And now if that was a situation and I have a bit more freedom with my schedule, I could have been like, okay, Grandpa, we're going to Europe, you know? So instead I get to do these fun things and take Melissa and the kids, my mom and my sister and my brother and do stuff with them. So, yeah, and I saw the cortisone injection thing might be a possibility. Oh, Dean says, my back used to be like yours and I kept on using it till the pain never goes away. Now I have to get cortisone injections just to walk. Yeah, it was like that the last few months where I could barely walk. There was moments, and I'm not meaning to complain because I know there's probably people on here with worse problems than my back issues, but there was moments where I was like, holy cow, this is bad enough that I don't think I could walk across the parking lot to get to the store. Where I had to use a shopping cart as like a crutch and kind of like wheel myself. So I'm good now. My back is back where it needs to be and I can move around fine and everything again. But anyway, that's kind of there's motivation for me to get out there and see the world because I want to do it while I can do it. And I love to climb and I love to explore and I love to do stuff. And I think that I'd have less fun doing it if I was a real old man doing it. So I think that's my mission this year, is to try and do some real fun things and have some explorations and see bits of the world I maybe haven't seen before and to share those experiences with my family. So hopefully they'll be up for a few adventures, I think.
Well, we have some planned.
We do. Yeah, we do have some planned.
And then it'll be summer.
And there'll be summer.
I'd like to stay here for summer though. I don't want to go.
Yeah, we just have the
Like last time we went to Maui during summer, which was beautiful. It is amazing. I'm not complaining.
But we
there was
missed
a
out on-
point where we're like, I wish we were just on our own property. And that's saying a lot. So
yeah, it is pretty nice around here in summer. The last year or so, I went crazy with our yard basically just trying to,
Uh-oh.
are we spinning? Are we back now?
I'm gonna see if I'm back.
Melissa's just checking to see if we're back now.
I'm frozen on I'm guessing I'm frozen for all of you, maybe.
Oh,
My
okay.
eyebrows up.
Are we still frozen or are we back now? It looks like reconnect. Are we there?
Yeah, fuzzy, but
We're
there.
fuzzy, but possibly back.
I was frozen with my eyebrows up and like very surprised and excited, whatever I was saying.
We were talking about traveling. Maybe government didn't want us to leave the country, but we were saying how much we like our yard, and how much we enjoy that. So anyway,
Yeah.
the last year or so, I went nuts. The last year and a half, as you guys know, getting our property up to speed, getting things built around in the backyard, and getting the grass in, and building a garden for Melissa. So I feel like we've done a lot with the property where we want to be here to enjoy it for summer. And plus, I'm probably be pretty busy with house clear outs and stuff come summertime. Melissa's running away. You can see her run away in the reflection. We can still see you running away. Oh, she did a little dance. Now she ran up the stairs. I think that she's just making sure the kids aren't on the computer right now because they're teenagers. Yeah. And teenagers and their phones, I tell you. So guys, I have a lot of ambition this year to go out there and have a lot of fun and do a lot of exciting things with my family and to take you guys along on the adventure too. So stay tuned for more adventures. We're going to be on here doing our thing, basically just trying to share what's going on, and hoping you guys are all healthy and happy this year, and that everybody has a wonderful 2024. And
I can hear you winding it up.
yeah, I'm kind of winding things down. Dawn says, is the TV show thing still in the works? As far as I know, it is. It should be in the works, but again, that wouldn't be till summer. So we're trying to make sure that we do things, anticipating maybe we'll be busy in summertime, but we don't know. But guys, have a wonderful day. New video coming out in a couple days here, so stay tuned for that. I really maybe bit off more than I could chew with this particular project, but we'll see. Guys, thanks again. We'll see you again very soon, and have a wonderful night. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye for now.